Hi, this is Ramesh Reddy. Today I would like to discuss database system concepts. The main role is database design. So we need to design the database, then only we can use the database. So database design can be done regularly by an expert. Expert is nothing but who has more than 20 years of experience in a particular domain. Here, domain is nothing but a banking domain, or a telecom domain, or a finance domain, or a uh, marketing domain, like this. So we need the expert to design the database, then only that will be accurate. The database designed to manage large bodies of information for an enterprise. The designer makes sure that what type of data we are going to store and what are the elements are related. So these need to take care about this database designer, and the DBMS management system manages the data accordingly. So now we go for an example, an enterprise called as banking enterprise. So there we can store some different details. So we can see one by one. The one is the bank organized into branches. Each branch can have a unique name, and the bank always monitor by assets of each branch. And each branch has a customer. The bank can store the customer details like customer ID, customer name, address, phone number, etc. And every customer can identify it by their customer IDs. The bank also offers two types of accounts like savings account and checking account. The savings account is nothing but normal users like who are going to save the amount and store, keep for backup into the bank. This is type of savings account, salary holders like this. And checking account is created by the business experts. And the next one, the bank provides loans to its customers like personal loans, house loans, gold loans, vehicle loans, etc. And the bank need employees to run the business. These employees are details are stored in the bank like employee ID, employee name, designation, salary, department, etc., etc. And every employee can be identified the blank employee ID. So these are the details need to store to run the an enterprise like banking. Likewise, different domain may use different requirements. The first one is entity relation model. Already we discussed this in the previous session. Entity is nothing but a thing or object in the real world. So, for example, employee is an entity. Employee is an entity sheet. Whereas customer is an entity, whereas relationship is nothing but an association between the two entities. That is called as a relationship. Already we discussed in the previous session. You can go and refer that one. And normalization, it is another method of designing relation database accurately. And here the definition of the normalization is a set of rules used to decompose the data into two or more subtables to reduce the redundancy and maintain the consistency of the data. That means a table has multiple data redundancy and inconsistent of data, mismatch of data. So we applying this normalization, we can reduce the data into two or more subtables to reduce that redundancy. Redundancy is nothing but repeated information. So this is a method to design a database accurately, and this can be achieved by normal forms. So we can see in the next sessions very clearly. We have the next sessions for this normalization. And the next topic is data storage and querying. The functional components of database system is divided into storage manager and query processor. So we have the different roles of this storage manager and query processor. The first one is storage manager. And the first role of these different roles, the first role is authorization and integrity manager. The authorization integrity manager is ensures that you need to test for integrity constraints. If the integrity constraints are fulfilling or not, based on that, the data is storing or not, and also checks the authority of user to access the data. So different users can access data. Those has the authorization to access those type of this can take care of this authorization integrity manager. And the next one is transaction manager, who ensures the database in the inconsistent state and concurrent executions are running properly. Are there any conflicts? This is the role of transaction manager. And the next one is File manager. So file manager means that he can ensure the allocation of space on the disk storage. That means every day the data is going to store on the database. If the database is full, means the disk storage is full, then we cannot able to store the data into the database. This is the main role of this storage manager. We need to take care of the space. Every day we need to free space, and then it can able to store the new data. So there is a response of file manager, and the next one is buffer manager, which is responsible for fetching data from disk storage into the main memory. And the next one is data files. These can take care of database itself. Here we can store the indexes as well as data dictionaries like this. And the last one is data dictionary. Data dictionary is nothing but data about data. So metadata. Metadata is nothing but data about data. For example, we have a laptop. Laptop is nothing but a data. And what is the configuration of that laptop, and what is the screen size, and what are the features we have. This is called as data about data. These can be stored on this data dictionary. It's a separate file. It's a special type of file which cannot accessible by normal users. These can be accessible by database administrator. And the next one, indices. Indices is nothing but like a key which you need to provide the fast access of data. That means, for example, we can see that a textbook, in the textbook backside we have the some indexes. There we can find different keywords with some page numbers. So based on the page number, directly we can access that keyword, and there we can find the topic. So that is for reference, quick access. So indices also used for quick access. The next one is query processor. The query processor, first one is DDL interpreter, which interprets DDL statements and records into data dictionary. And the next one, DML compiler, which translates DML statements into low-level instructions. That means machine understandable instructions that query evaluation engine can understand those. DML also performs query optimization. Optimization is nothing but which query evaluation plan is takes less time. Those can be evaluated and thus can be executed. This is called as a query evaluation, query optimization. And the last one is query evaluation engine, which executes low-level instruction generated by DML compiler. Here we can see this diagram, query processor, how it can be. So we can give the query. These can be processed by parser and translator and translate into relational algebra expressions. So there, the optimizer can optimize that query and pick the low execution plan, and that can be forward to evaluation engine, which can evaluate and give the output. This is the just how the query processor can place the role. The next one is transaction management. A transaction means a unit of work. That means we have two accounts, account A and account B. We need to withdraw from account A and we need to add the money to account B. So this is a complete unit of work. That means we need to access the account A and withdraw the amount, and need to access the account B and deposit the account. This is called as a transaction. And the transaction manager or transaction management component, which ensures that the database remains in the inconsistent state. Consistent state means correctness, if it is correct state or not. And why? Because we are checking this means sometimes while doing the transaction there is may failures like power failures and operating system failures, and then transaction fails like this. This is the role of transaction management component or transaction manager. And the next one is concurrency control manager. The concurrency control manager controls the interaction among the concurrent transaction to ensure the consistency of the database. The next one is database architecture. There we need to entire structure of the database. So this is the entire structure of the database. There are different users like Navy users, application programmers, sophisticated users, and database administrator. Navy users, so they cannot write an application program. They can use the application program which is already written. By using those, they can evoke different applications and access the data. And next one is application programmers, who are the knowledge workers. They have the knowledge to write the application programs to access the database. And sophisticated users, they can cannot write programs and they can access the data by using the querying tools like SQL, and they can analyze the data. And the next one is database administrator. They can complete they can ensure the complete database is running properly or not. They are the called as database administrators. And query processor, just now we see this query processor, we have different roles. And storage manager, this is also we can see, we have seen in the last slide. The last one is data disk storage. There we have the data. Data means the data which is recorded, raw data which is recorded, indexes for fast accessing, data dictionary, data about data, and statistical data to evaluate the queries. So these are the overall structure of the database system. And nowadays every user can sit in the system, and they can connect it to server which is available in the remote place. So this is done by two ways, like two types of architectures, like two-tier architecture and three-tier architecture. Here in two-tier architecture or three-tier architecture, this is called as a client server technology or client server technique. Here we have the client mission and server mission. Client server means on which remote database user or work, and server mission means on which database system runs. The server is always available on the remote place, whereas client mission is always available in front of the user. So we can see this two-tier architecture. In this two-tier architecture, we have the client mission as a server mission. In client mission, we have a application program. By using this application program, the user easily interacts with the database means server, and they can retrieve the data and doing the manipulation like this. And the next one is a three-tier architecture. Here also we have the two missions called as client mission as well as server mission. In client mission we have a app called as application client. Through this application client they can interact with the server. In server we have the application server. Using the server, that application server, they can interact with the server. This is called as a three-tier architecture. So here we can see these architectures of two types: user, application. These are available in the client mission, and the server. In server, database system is available. This is called as a two-tier architecture. And the next one is three-tier architecture. There we have the client mission as a server mission. The user interacts with the application client, and the application client interacts with the server. In server, we have the application server. Through the application server, they can interact with the database system. The next one is data mining and information retrieval. The data mining refers the process of searching hidden information from the large number of data through algorithms. Means always the mining means they can dig the knowledge from huge amount of databases. And information retrieval is also same, and we get the data from the huge amount of database by using different algorithms. So this is purely related to business purpose. There we can get the data from a large amount of database like 20 to 25 years of data. So this is about a brief discussion about the database concepts. If you have any doubts, you can call me or mail me. So this is available on this slide. My mail ID and phone number is available. Thank you very much.